Starting my channel, I've had a lot of women reach out through comments or emails or on my Instagram asking me to talk about my experience as a parent being an autistic woman. The majority of the people reaching out have a desire to become a parent, but also have a lot of fear around how that will impact their autistic traits. And I get it. Honestly, I don't know if I would have had children if I had known that I was autistic earlier in life, because I wouldn't have known how it was going to impact me. But I'm really glad that I did. In today's video, I'm going to discuss a few of the ways that postpartum has impacted me as an autistic person, and what I've been doing to maintain balance and help prevent shutdowns or burnout. Hey friends, welcome to my little corner on the interwebs. If you're new here, my name's Kathlena and I'm autistic with a heavy dash of ADHD. I make videos about autism, neurodiversity, and my experiences as a late diagnosed autistic woman. So if that's something that you're interested in, be sure to like this video and subscribe. You can also find me on Instagram at neurodivergent. So without further ado, let's hop into the video. Realistically, if I'm going to be posting a new video every week, I have to get kind of creative with the ways in which I do that. So you're gonna be hearing baby sounds. This is pretty much how I look every day right now. I had my daughter 7 weeks ago. My delivery was incredibly intense and resulted in an emergency C-section. And eventually I do plan on sharing my birth story and kind of how I was impacted, as well as what I gained from that experience, because I really do believe that that story will offer a lot of value to this community. But for today's video, I want to just focus on how postpartum has been for me so far. For the most part, my postpartum, I feel, has been fairly smooth. Which I'm incredibly grateful for, because the delivery was so intense and I've had to do a lot of processing around that, and I'm still doing a lot of processing around that. So I'm really grateful that I don't have to be dealing with that, along with navigating a stressful postpartum period. Baby is what you would expect for a newborn. She eats, sleeps, poops. She's definitely becoming a lot more active right now. But, you know, I'm not dealing with a colicky baby or a baby that has feeding issues or anything like that. So for the most part, it's been just kind of what you would expect. She is definitely a baby that prefers to be held or close to you all of the time. So the wrap has been amazing for giving me my hands and a little bit more of a sense of freedom. With that said, I'm definitely teetering every day with overtouch stimulation. So let's talk about the main things that I've been doing to support my recovery and my transition into being a mother of 2 children. The number one thing that I put above all else is prioritizing sleep. Fortunately, I'm a really good napper, and so if I feel like I need to take a nap in the middle of the day when she's napping, I can do that. If there's laundry that needs to be folded, which there always is, or if there's dishes in the sink, or even food needs to be made, pretty much all of that will get put aside if I need to sleep. We've gotten a pretty good nighttime routine down for her, and she's starting to sleep longer stretches at night. And so I have been able to do a lot more during the day, thankfully, because my nights I'm getting longer stretches of sleep. But above all else, sleep is number one. If I'm starting the day tired, I'm already starting with a lower threshold. The next thing that I really try to focus on, aside from sleep, is making sure that I am eating and drinking enough. And now that we're moving out of the holiday season and I'm feeling a little bit more functional, I'm able to put focus on nutrient dense foods. But to be honest, that wasn't even in my line of focus. It was just making sure that I'm able to get 3 meals a day in and adequate water, both for energizing myself as well as making sure that I'm able to produce enough milk, because I am breastfeeding. Some of the ways that I've been able to accomplish this are freezer meals, and I have a video in mind to share some of my top freezer meals that I keep, that I try to keep on hand at all times, because they just make life so much easier, whether you're a new parent or whether you're in burnout, or you just don't want to have to think about what to make every single day. I'll share a few of my top freezer meals, but freezer meals are definitely a necessity when it comes to making sure that I'm feeding myself regularly and my family. And then paired with that is making sure that I drink enough water. This is one of the hardest things for me for some reason. It's funny because as a nutritionist, when I admit that to people, that getting enough water for me is really difficult, they find that surprising, but it really is. I'm very picky about the type of water that I drink, and if it's not absolutely perfect, I will just dehydrate. So a few of the ways that I've made sure to drink enough water is to, one, pair it with another activity that I really want and I really enjoy. So usually that's like coffee in the morning. I make sure that I drink a glass of water before I have my coffee. I will get hydrated through caffeine-free teas, because those seem to be, I can drink those a little bit easier. And then as far as just plain pure water, I make sure that I have high quality water that tastes good. I can't drink tap water. Maybe I'm being very finicky and picky, but I just can't drink it. I can taste the chlorine in it. It tastes highly treated, and it doesn't feel good in my body. So I make sure that I have good quality water. For Christmas, I got a watering service that delivers water. Before that, we were just going up and filling our own 5-gallon jugs, but making sure that I have good quality water is essential. And then also having a good cup, it makes it a lot easier as well. I do also, if you're hearing things I'm playing, here's the stim toy of the day. Another thing that I like to make sure that I'm trying to do every single day is take my vitamins. This is essential for replenishing my nutrient reserves from pregnancy and from a difficult birth. Producing milk also strips a lot of those vitamins and minerals that I need. So making sure that I'm taking my vitamins regularly is really helpful. We're in the middle of winter. I live in the Pacific Northwest, so we don't get a lot of sun anyways. Making sure I'm taking my vitamin D this time of year is really important as well, because I do have a tendency to slip into seasonal depression. Another thing that helps combat that seasonal depression and keep me feeling more balanced is getting outside every day for at least a few minutes. I try to go out on a walk for anywhere between 15 to 45 minutes. Some days that's just not possible because, again, Pacific Northwest, we get a lot of wet days. Once I'm out there, and as long as I'm like dressed warmly, once I'm out there, it feels amazing. It's one of the best like dopamine hits, getting some exercise along with fresh air. It really is incredibly helpful in maintaining my mental health. I've also been making sure to shower regularly and have healthy daily hygiene habits. I'm sure that sounds really simple and not really fall into like what is considered self-care, but for me it is essential to have a focus on that, because I have a tendency to sometimes put those things aside. And let me tell you, taking a shower when you are a new mom feels so amazing. Let's talk a little bit about being touched out, because that is something that I have a lot of women who are neurodivergent talking about, and I completely get it, because when you have littles, they understandably want love and attention, and that usually comes with physical touch. And as much as I love a certain level of physical touch, I can get touched out really easily. And so a few of the ways that I have been preventing that is by, one, just kind of like recognizing where I'm at throughout the day, and putting up boundaries when I need to. I am breastfeeding, and sometimes that can be a lot. So what I've been doing with our feeds, for the most part, we're laying down in bed, and that way I'm not having to hold her. We don't really, you know, I can like rub her head, but we don't really touch that much during that time. And like I said, she gets plenty of touch and affection because she's in the wrap pretty much all of the time. But nursing, laying down is really nice to kind of give me a break from that like constantly being touched feeling. And if I ever get to a point where I'm at my threshold, at that point I either pass the baby along to my husband, or I put her down in a safe place and I take a break. So far, I haven't been impacted too bad by noise sensitivity. I'm definitely like increasingly noticing day by day that it's getting more and more intense for me. So I've been considering getting some kind of like earplugs. The last thing that I want to say is that this is just my experience. Everybody's experience is different, and I also really want to acknowledge that I am super, super privileged when it comes to being able to currently stay home. I haven't yet had to go back into work, so that's super helpful, not having to like add that into my balancing act. And I also have an incredibly supportive husband who understands my needs and is here and available when I need a break, which has played a huge role in allowing me to recover and transition into being a mom of 2. That's all I've got for you guys today. So I hope that you enjoyed. Be sure to like this video if you did. Be kind to yourself, and I will see you in the next video.